In today's video, we are continuing in our series on hypopressive exercises, and today we're going to work on a couple of seated hypopressive poses. Welcome to the Flower Empowered. Today we're going to start from a seated position. So the first thing that I want you to notice when you sit down is, do you collapse in your low back? Now we are going to have the knees bent for this, so it may be that when you sit in the position that you're okay to sit straight because the knees are bent. But if you still feel like you have a little bit of a collapse in the low back, just take a little blanket. You can just let yourself sit up onto that, and that neutralizes the pelvis so that you start from a nice straight seated position. But I'm just going to sit without the blanket. So you should have a little bit of a bend in the legs, not too excessive. We're going to sit up straight. And we're going to start just putting the hands on the legs so the elbows are pointing out to the side. You're nice and tall. We're going to take an inhalation and exhale completely. Inhale fully. And exhale, and when you exhale all the air out, we're going to begin our apnea. So we do this one more time, just bearing in mind that when you exhale all the air out, you take your apnea, and before you breathe in again, allow everything to come back to that depressed position. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And take your apnea. Okay, so this is the first position. You can see that I did keep my feet flexed, but I'm not super active in my legs. I'm just holding this position with my legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the hands up to start. Now with the hands up, you're changing a little bit the position of the ribs. And from this position, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to take our inhalation, our exhalation, we're going to take another inhale and exhale, then we're going to hold out for the apnea. And when we take the apnea, you're going to notice that it's slightly different with the arms up. So let's make a start. So inhale, exhale, inhale again. And on the exhalation, we're going to go for our apnea. Okay. So you might have noticed that that felt a little bit different. So the apnea might not be as extreme in that position. We're going to do it one more time with the arms up, and then we're going to combine the two movements. And we're actually going to take the first of our movements during our apnea. So again, we're going to take the arms up to start. So you'll notice my elbows are pointing out. You'll notice my fingers are facing each other. You just want to resume this type of a position. It shouldn't be too hard. You're not reaching really far. You're not putting a lot of effort in here. You're just going to hold the hands up, and you will notice this might be a little bit harder on the core, this version. So starting, we're going to take the inhale and exhale. Inhale, expanding the lungs, and exhale all the way, holding the breath out, taking your apnea. Very nice. Just take a little break and get ready. We're going to do the same again, only this time we're going to move from the seated position all the way up to the seated with the arms up position. And we're going to inhale, exhale, take the apnea, and then with the apnea we're going to lift the arms. And you will notice a little bit of a change in sensation because we are actually taking some movement here that slightly adjusts the position of the rib cage. It will have a little bit of a change to the dynamic of your hypopressive. So placing the hands on the legs, sitting nice and tall, we start with our inhalation, exhalation, breath cycles. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale for your apnea, And take the arms down again. Now, I didn't let my ribs come back to the rested position before taking the inhalation there. So you may have heard the little, and that's what happens if you don't allow the ribs to come back to normal. So let's just do that again, and let's do it properly this time. So when we come to the end where we want to finish our apnea, we're going to finish with the arms up. We're going to allow the rib cage to come back to that depressed position. So back to where we were before we started our apnea, and then we should be able to take an in-breath without choking. So let's make a start. So again, we assume our position, our feet are hip distance apart. There's a little flex in the feet, a little flex in the knees, a little flex in the hips. Hands are on the thighs, elbows pointing out the ways. We're going to take an inhalation and an exhalation. Inhale again. Exhale for your apnea. Okay, so there we go. That's just 3 simple little exercises that you can do to build on your little platform of hypopressives. And these exercises are good for trimming the waist. They're also good for really working that relationship between the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. So I would advise you to do this, particularly if you have pelvic organ prolapse. This can be a really nice way to start to get things to lift just a little. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share or comment, and do remember to talk about pelvic floor dysfunction. If we talk about these things, we can really break the taboo. Together, we can and will make a difference.